Greetings, GISD community. This is Dr. Stewart with another student spotlight. Today, I have with me Quinn Jones, fifth grader here at Gainesville Intermediate. How you doing, Quinn?
Good, you?
I am doing just fine, thank you.
Hmm.
Well, without any further ado, let's jump right on into our
Okay.
questions. All right. All right. So let us get to know a little bit more about you. How long have you been a student here in GISD?
I've been a student here for 2 years, and I moved here from LaPorte, Texas. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your family. Your mom, dad, brothers, sisters, pets.
My mom is a sixth grade math teacher at Intermediate, and my dad is an assistant principal at Chalmers Elementary, and I have a 4-year-old dog,
What kind of dog do you have?
Shih Tzu part Yorkie.
Okay. Okay. So what do you like to do for fun when you're not in school?
Um, so I play two sports, soccer and basketball. So I do those two, or if I don't have those two, I go outside and play with my dog usually.
Play with your dog?
Yeah,
Okay, now on the sports side, what's your favorite sport?
basketball.
Told you, I knew there was a reason I liked you. All right, so tell me about something you did fun that last summer. Did you take any trips or do anything special with your family?
Last summer we went all the way up to Portland, Maine, and we stopped like in Boston, Washington D.C., Niagara Falls. So that was really fun.
Did you eat some good seafood while you were that way?
Yes, a lot.
The food is really, really good.
It is.
All right, so now that we're just a couple days, not
Mm-hmm.
that you're counting the countdown and start at the spring
Yeah.
break. Do you have anything coming up over spring break or this upcoming summer that you're excited about?
This upcoming spring, I'm going out to the lake to camp, and then this summer, hopefully, we are going on a cruise.
Okay. I'll tell you, Dr. Stewart loves to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I have not done is
Mm-hmm.
taken a cruise.
Oh, really?
So I too am looking at potentially trying to schedule a cruise.
Oh, that seems nice.
Okay. So if your mom or dad had to describe you in one word, what would it be?
Um, Curious. I like to be curious about a lot of things, see what's happening, what's going around. So yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being curious.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you learn.
Yes.
Curiosity is, kind of a gateway to new learning,
Mm-hmm.
new experiences and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you could eat the same kind of food every day, what would it be and
Um,
why?
it would be pizza because you can eat it hot or cold, and like you can put your own ingredients on it or like anything you want on it. It's like anything. You can be a dessert pizza,
Quinn,
anything.
look, if I would have had to answer that exact same question, I would have said almost the exact same thing because I eat pizza when it's hot
Yeah.
and I also eat it when it's cold. So I love it. All right, so being the very involved young lady that you are, I
Mm-hmm.
know you're a young lady of many talents.
Mm-hmm.
If you entered into a talent show, what would your talent be?
It'd probably be dancing because I've danced since I was very little, and like that's just what I've done. And even though I'm not dancing now, I think I could do that.
Okay. Is there a particular type of dance like jazz, ballet,
Um,
hip hop? What kind of dance do you like?
I'd like jazz and ballet.
Jazz and
Those are
ballet.
the two, yeah.
Okay. So now let's shift over to school.
Hmm.
What do you think is the most important quality for a teacher to have?
I think the most important quality for a teacher to have is like to understand their students and to know like what their weakness and then what their strong suit is.
Hmm.
So just to understand their students.
Because if I understand my student,
Hmm.
I can better help my kid.
Yes.
All right. So who has been your favorite teacher? I know you've been in GISD for 2 years
Hmm.
now, but who has been your favorite teacher throughout your time here in GISD so far?
My favorite teacher has been Miss Royal. She just makes the classroom fun and like more just I just like that classroom.
Does Miss Royal hold you accountable?
Yes, she does.
Okay. But does Miss Royal build good relationships with her kids?
She does. She understands them and she just knows when they're struggling and it's good.
So I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it. What is your favorite subject to learn, and why does it interest you?
I like math because my mom has been teaching math for a while now and I've just grown up next to her with math, so it's just been math for a
I told you, Quinn, I really like you. I taught math.
while.
So I taught math for about 6 years. And I
Mm-hmm.
taught high school math.
Oh.
Okay. And ironically, Ms. Royal is a math teacher as well. So I see the kind of the pattern here. Okay. So what is one thing you think you do well as a student?
Um, I think I am kind and like I help other kids when they need help. and I learn really good, and I'm nice to my teachers, and I'm respectful, and it's yeah.
Sounds like a natural leader to me.
Yes.
All right. So now this is your first year at the intermediate campus.
Mhm.
You're the fifth grader, so
Yeah.
you're the small pup on campus.
Yes.
So how has your experience been here at the intermediate campus?
It's been really good. My mom's here, of course, so I get to see her a lot, and my friends are here, so like I'm not alone, and like it's really fun.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to compare the two.
Okay.
What has been the biggest difference in school this year compared to last year while you were at Chalmers?
There's a lot more classes. You have to walk around a lot more, and it's way more busier than Chalmers.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So you have a little bit more independence here,
Yeah. More.
but academically, it's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can tell you, Quinn, as you continue to grow, sixth grade, of course, you'll be here next year,
Mhm.
but as you transition off to the middle school,
Mhm.
that academic bar only continues to rise.
Mhm.
Because the thing is, it's our jobs to help get you prepared for what lies ahead of you, for you,
Mhm.
whether it's, going off to college, whether it's going to the military, whether it's going to trade school, or whether it's being introduced to the real world.
Mhm.
So it's our job to get you as prepared as possible so that when you do, whichever avenue you take, you're as prepared as you possibly can be.
Mhm. I like that.
Okay. So do you have any advice for fourth graders coming into intermediate next year that will help them as they make that transition?
Fourth graders, be ready. Um, if you do one thing wrong, you'll probably be sent to ISS, and it's just you have to work a lot more harder. There's usually not that much homework, but it's hard.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So would it be safe to say that the level of expectation
Yes,
is
it goes.
increased?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you feel about having Mondays off? That's been the huge talk of town.
Mhm.
You go back a year ago, it was really the huge talk of town.
Yes.
Not so much now.
Mhm.
I think now everyone is starting to kind of get into their rhythm,
Mhm.
and families have adjusted and made the necessary changes to accommodate
Mhm.
students not being in school on Mondays. So how do you feel about having Mondays off, and what do you do on those days?
I think it's really good because I get to do my chores and like I don't have to do it the next day, and like I get a lot more done. But I also think it like prevents like even though it's one day, it kind of prevents learning. So it's like a short time of learning at school.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So now, Quinn, let's talk about the future because
Mhm.
I know it's hard, or it may seem like it's a long ways away. But believe you me, as a fifth grader, you're gonna blink your eyes and you're gonna be in middle school. You're gonna blink your eyes again. You're gonna be a senior in high school, and next thing you know, Dr. Stewart will be handing you a diploma, ushering you out into the real world.
Mhm.
Are there any particular careers that you're interested in pursuing after you graduate from high school?
I want to be a vet. I want to own my own vet shop because I just like animals and I think I'd be really good.
Look, I almost want to stop the video.
Like.
No, Clint. So my youngest daughter, she's a vet med major.
Mhm.
And so I tell you, you remind me so much of my daughter. So, okay, that's interesting. So, Gwen, I've asked. Thank you first and foremost.
Mhm.
Thank you for being the type of student that you've been. In your transition, you have done an awesome job in the transition, and you continue to show and impress all that you are come into contact with. I've been very impressed watching you transition from Chalmers to the intermediate,
Mhm.
and watching how you have just conducted yourself as a young lady.
Mhm.
So I encourage you to keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
That really concludes the formal questions that I have for you.
Mhm.
I always like to, at this point of the interview, I've asked you a lot of questions,
Yes.
and so I always like to offer the opportunity for students to ask me a question. You have any questions for me this morning?
Yes. What
Shoot.
would you tell your younger self?
What would I tell my younger self? That's a great question. Uh, younger self, as in back in
Yes.
K-12, younger self, high
Um,
school, college.
Whatever.
Okay.
Just.
What would I tell my younger self? I would tell my younger self um, and this is a motto that I developed
Mhm.
later in life, but it's live life, don't let life live you.
Mm.
And what do I mean by that is, life is too short.
Mhm.
We have to be able to, you got to live in the moment, and you got to enjoy the blessings that have been bestowed upon you, regardless of how big or how small.
Mhm.
For me, I had kids, I was in my early mid 20s. I had my
Mhm.
first daughter was born, and so I really shifted kind of my mentality from focusing on me to focusing on family.
Mhm.
Um, and that's okay. I focused on them and taking care of them and making sure that they had all of what I didn't have
Mhm.
when I was growing up. If I could do that all over again, I would continue that same focus, but I would
Mhm.
also take care of me more as well. Taking our family trips, which we always did, but I never did took trips for myself or me and the entire family. We took family trips, but it wasn't, I didn't do a lot of self care back then.
Mhm.
It was all about my family, and even so much to the point now where, as a older man now, I think I've achieved that balance to where I
Mhm.
can now have a equitable amount of time that I spend with my family,
Mhm.
but I also take care of self because, as I
Mhm.
said earlier, life is too short.
Mhm.
People are checking out of here left and right,
Yes.
and so at the end of the day, Quinn, when it's all said and done, whenever my number's called, I want to be able to say, you know what, life owes me nothing. My girls are good, my family's good. Life owes me nothing. So I would take better care of self.
Mhm. I like
Well, well, Quinn, thank you again for being just an awesome young lady, and thank you for this awesome experience this
that. Mhm.
morning. Gainesville community, Quinn Jones, fifth grader here at Gainesville Intermediate School.